Hello, everyone. I'm Judge Penny Wolfgang. Welcome to The Big Picture. With Veterans Day upon us, it's time to once again thank those who serve our country in all branches of service, while we also remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. One place that recognizes the brave men and women who serve and remembers those who have died is Patriots and Heroes Park in front of Russell's Steaks, Chops, and More on Transit Road just north of the Thruway. During a recent ceremony commemorating the 20th anniversary of 9/11 attacks, I visited the park to find out what it means for philanthropic icon Russell J. Salvatore and to meet those present for the event. We're here with Russell Salvatore, and we wanted to ask you, Russell, what made you think originally of building this fantastic memorial?
Well, you know, Judge, I bought the property to put a plaza up, and when I went to bed one night when they were ready to dig the plaza, the good Lord blessed me. He says, you don't need another business. So I decided to come over here, put the park in, and we said, I'm going to build a park, and a good friend said, donate it to the Patriots and Heroes. And we put the park up, and it's probably one of the smartest things that I did. And we're giving it back to the community. It's not my park, it's everybody's park that is in this Western New York, and then they come out. We're here like 14 years now, and it gets better and better and better. And to do something like we're doing today for 9/11, it just, doesn't it give you the goose pimples?
Yes,
doesn't it
does.
make you feel?
Yes, it
I
does,
mean,
Russ.
it's such a beautiful feeling to give back, and especially for the Patriots and the Heroes. If anybody's listening, you got to take a ride out here before it gets a snowstorm. It belongs to all you people out there. So God bless us all, and God bless the veterans and everyone that's listening.
And thank you so much for all you do for the community.
Well,
And
thank you, Judge. Nice seeing you.
As you pointed out, this is so wonderful that it is open to the people, it's free, and everyone can come. And also, this is not the only time that you have had ceremonies here at the park. It's been used many other times.
Yeah,
right?
we have ceremonies quite often, you know, and anybody, like we've got more than 3407 Memorial, we got 9/11 Memorial, and people come in and bring a tree that they've had somebody pass away in their house with a plaque on it, and I'll put the tree in their honor. And, you know, we're not going to make it a junkyard, but it's nice to have walking around and just, I don't know what else to say.
And it was beautifully designed. Tell us about how the design came about.
I did a lot of it, and my friend Don Perino did the majority of it.
And you thought of every, as you said, every service, every branch, and
Yes.
every event that has taken place. Veterans Day, every time there's something that is American and that is for our country, people are here.
Yes, yes, ma'am. It belongs to everyone that's out here and all the Patriots and the Heroes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nice talking, and happy 9/11 to you.
Yes, we'll always remember.
Thank you, dear.
Chaplain, your words in the ceremony were so moving we can't explain or express our appreciation. Can you tell us how you got involved with this 9/11 ceremony here?
Well, I've been a firefighter for over 30 years, and our motorcycle club is based on firefighters. Our Red Knights Motorcycle Club is an international chapter of firefighters. And Chapter 47 approached me and asked me, as I serve as a chaplain with my own fire department, if I would serve as chaplain for their motorcycle club, which I'm honored to do. I'm the only member that doesn't have a motorcycle, but they asked me to get involved with it, and one of the first things we did, the towers fell and the Washington and Shanksville happened, and that year in September we came here for the first time. It's just a group of guys.
And tell me about the planning. Does it take probably the whole year from one year to the next? You've been doing this for how long?
It's not quite that complicated. We get together, spend a pretty good couple of months on it. We have great resources here. Mr. Salvatore is by far so benevolent and invites us back every year, so that's a locked-done deal. His staff is wonderful that works with us. The local fire companies, local law enforcement agencies that work with us, that bring their people out here that we can move them around and put them in certain spots. You can recognize the Patriot Guard here with the Isle of Flags for us. They're a wonderful group that does military funerals and fire service and law enforcement funerals. It's just a getting together of a whole bunch of people. So it takes a little while, but it doesn't take that much.
Tell us about your talk today. you kind of made it relevant to today and to the events that are happening now in our country. How did you come up with that?
Well, as I said before I spoke on the details, I was going to write a prepared presentation, but it just came to me that over the last several weeks that we've been in so much turmoil and so much dismay and so much negative that I felt that we had to put a spin on it, that, you know, this is the greatest country that you could possibly live in, made up of wonderful people that are willing to die for this country, and that we just got to get back to what our fundamentals were and love each other and look at each other as neighbors and protect each other. That's where I'm sworn to do that every day along with my brother and sister firefighters. We as neighbors should have to do that every day with each other anyways. I just thought it was pertinent not to make it political. It's not a political issue. It's on the back of every one of us. We have to work together to make this better and to heal. And
it was so contemporary and current because of what happened in Afghanistan, and I'm sure that motivated you to add that to your thoughts.
Oh, without a doubt. Yesterday, as I said in the presentation, when I walked in and saw the 13 bottles for the 13 servicemen that were killed in Afghanistan on the Purple Heart Memorial, it pretty much made my speech. I pretty much decided that's where I was going to go with this. It's all about the honor and respect of the individuals that went before us to give us everything that we have.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your service, and
Thanks.
thank you for
Thanks, Judge.
joining it.
It's my pleasure, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
There was another major event in Western New York that took place on 9/11. The Flag of Honor Across America Memorial was staged at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park, hosted by the Erie County Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, and staged by the County Department of Homeland Services, Security, and Emergency Services. Our hometown camera was there for what was an inspiring morning.
It's 8:46 a.m. September 11th, 2001. A cloudless blue sky stretches from New York City to Buffalo. But in the blink of an eye, the nation is devoured by darkness. The North Tower of the World Trade Center has been attacked. But for a short time, we maintain our innocence, as the initial reports are that it was a small plane, surely an accident. We would eventually learn that at 8:46, 5 hijackers crashed American Airlines Flight number 11 into the 93 through 99 floors of the World Trade Center. 76 passengers, 11 crew members, and hundreds in the building are killed instantly. The crash severs all 3 emergency stairwells and traps hundreds of people above the 91st floor. Within that same time frame, 8:46 a.m., New York City emergency dispatchers send police, paramedics, and firefighters to the North Tower. Battalion Chief Joseph Pfeiffer, 16 blocks away, looks into the sky and immediately knows he has something major. He instantly calls for a second and then third alarm, which sends 23 engine and ladder companies, 12 chiefs, and 10 specialized units to respond to crash at Box 8087, FDNY's reference to the World Trade Center. It should also be noted, at that point, the information that was delivered was vehicle drivers are instructed to park adjacent to the North Tower. Port Authority Police Department, responsible for the safety and security of the World Trade Center, had an immediate response. At 8:55, there's an announcement within the panicked South Tower. Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Building 2 is secure. There is no need to evacuate. If you are in the midst of evacuating, you may use the re-entry doors and elevators to return to your office. I repeat, Building 2 is secure. By now, if you hadn't been watching on television, you no doubt had received many, many phone calls from friends saying, quick, turn on the television. So as we reflect 20 years later on the events of September 11th, the tragic, senseless loss of thousands of lives that day, let us not forget also that it hit close to home. Let us not forget the selfless sacrifices of those first responders, fire, police, EMS, from right here in Western New York, that hours, days, and even weeks after the attack deployed to assist their brother and sister first responders in New York City. Let us not forget the impact on the health of those first responders who, despite understanding now, only now, the debilitating and for some lethal toxic exposure while at ground zero, if given a choice, would do it again. Let us not forget the national pride, the sense of duty and commonality displayed by almost every American. Let us not forget the uncertainty of what was to come next as units from throughout Erie County crossed the Hudson, headed down a deserted sawmill parkway toward the continuous plume that was Ground Zero. Let us not forget that back home, family members struggling still to grasp what they had witnessed just days before were now struggling with what their loved ones had volunteered to confront. Let us not forget that energy as we approached staging at Chelsea Pier, cheered on by well-wishers, returning what was needed the most, and assurance we are all in this together. Let us not forget the faces of our first responder family, summoned from every community, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and beyond, as teams prepared to deploy into the hot zone. Let us not forget our first impressions as we witnessed up close how evil the world can be. Let us not forget the subtle but weary nod of appreciation from FDNY, NYPD, and PAPD. Let us not forget the spontaneous donations of socks, work boots, gloves, and food because everyone wanted to feel a part of the recovery. Let us not forget all those involved, from the sounding of Box 8087 at 8:46 on September 11th, 2001 to 8:46, 2021. Let us not forget 20 years of sacrifice by those protecting us in this war on terror, especially those serving in the United States Armed Forces. Let us not forget those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country, in some cases too young on 9/11 to understand the impact it would have on their destiny. Let us not forget that this could have just as easily been Buffalo, New York. Let us not forget that regardless of municipality, the challenges of that day have been met with the same American spirit, courage, and selfless actions because at our core, it's in our DNA. Let us not forget, regardless of status, paid or unpaid, we are all professionals driven by a common understanding that there is a cause greater than us. I'll end with a quote from former President George W. Bush. In times, perhaps we will mark the memory of September 11th in stone and metal, something we can show our children as yet unborn, to help them understand what happened on this minute, on this day. But for those of us who live through these events, the only marker we will ever need is the tick of the clock at the 46th minute of the 8th hour of the 11th day.
We will have more from the 9/11 Memorial later in our program. Remember, if you would like to support the Naval and Military Park, you can go online to buffalonavalpark.org. When we come back, meet a man who is serving our country in a program that could also help with a college education.